Hello, everyone. This is Old School from WhatTheBuck.net, reporting you live from Brandon, Florida, actually Valrico. Been a little while since I posted a video. I want to thank all the people who subscribed recently. It's good to have the subscriptions. We're climbing up there. We're certainly not in Big Nick's territory, but bitch, we're on your tail. That's for sure. So down in Tampa Bay Buccaneer land, our first off-season and voluntary minicamp is opened under the Raheem Morris regime. This is closed to plebeians like myself, but the press has been able to go out there and see what's going on. Sadly, we haven't had very many good sound bites. As a result, the same sort of stuff is being bandied around, violent, ripped, all of this sort of stuff. Now, sadly, again, we do have a couple people that are not there. Ernest Graham and Brian Greasy are both away for family reasons. Now, it is voluntary, so you can't get your panties too in a bunch when someone doesn't show up for a voluntary camp. But at the same time, you'd like the guys together, especially under a new regime, to try and build that camaraderie amongst each other. But apparently family obligations have got Brian Greasy and Ernest Graham out of camp. Crowell, our new linebacker, is out still rehabbing that knee. He should be in shape come regular training camp, but the idea here is to keep him healthy and get him healthier so that when we get into full contact, he can actually perform. The only other one that's out that's notable is Donald Penn, our left tackle, who made no bones about the fact that he was unhappy with the offer that we tendered, which would require a significant payload of picks to get him away from the Bucs. This could very well be a posturing deal by Donald Penn and his agent. Generally speaking, that is a bad move. He is restricted. He will be in Tampa. No one's going to give up the picks that they want. If he comes in and plays like an idiot, he will find himself on the bench relatively quickly. Donald Penn did very well. We're Donald Penn fans at What the Buck, but at the same time, he's only 1 year removed from being some other fat guy that didn't get to play. So he needs to realize what he's doing, get in camp, and get in shape for this season. Today, or yesterday, I can't remember when it was. I think it was today, though. We had Jeff Fain, center, acquisition last year in free agency, go out with a tweaked back. Here's back lifting weights. He says it's nothing. He'll be back, no problem. Just a minor tweak in lifting weights. And K2 was held out of practice today. He made it through one day before ending up getting knocked out of practice. Now, we have no idea whether it's an injury or what it is, but we do know that he is not going to be, or he was not playing today. So the other big drama down here, obviously, is Jay Cutler. So Jay Cutler, and this is something a lot of people are talking about, the Jay Cutler trade is obviously back on the table. The head office in Denver is saying that Jay is up on the block. There are going to be a lot of people that are after him, a lot of Bucs fans that want us to go after him. If you listen to morning radio, things are changing, whether, from one station to the next, go for Cutler, 25-year-old pro baller, throws for 1 trillion yards. How could you not go after him? My personal opinion is he's a whiny little girl. He handled the potential trade for Castle incredibly poorly. Not the kind of guy that I necessarily want to bring into our organization. I think we're good with McCown. I think we've got an opportunity to see if he can actually do what we thought he could do. He's got the physical ability to do those sorts of things, and I don't see why we would need to ship away the farm to try and get Jay Cutler down here. That's not taking anything away from his capabilities on the field. If I were Detroit or if I were Minnesota, I would be actively going after this guy. But I happen to rate McCown above the guys they've got on their rosters as well. And now you can call me a homer if you want to, and that's probably mildly appropriate if Dante Culpepper comes in having dropped about 150 pounds because he can still throw the ball pretty damn well. But right now I just don't understand why we would even go after this. Now what's funny is you hear Luke McCown talk, and he's handling it perfectly. He's like, hey, I don't really care who they bring into camp. Right now I'm going in, and I feel like I'm the starter, and anyone who comes here is going to have to beat me out on the field. And that's exactly what you want out of a player. And if we're trying to build this team back, if this is truly a rebuilding time, which it seems to be by all outward appearances, that's what we've got to do. We've got to rebuild around some youth. This guy doesn't have a whole lot of mileage on those wheels. He's got a strong arm. He's fleet of foot. And now we just got to give him some playing time so he can make the right decisions in crunch time. And we have bigger needs, to be quite honest, right? We still don't have a real answer in the defensive tackle. We've got a defensive end rotation that wasn't particularly effective last year. It's looking like we're going to be seeing Ryan Sims and Chris Hovan as it sits right now. We could end up with Dre Morgan some more playing time if he's managed to get into shape in the offseason. The defensive line is going to need some work. Our linebacker position, we've already talked about that on previous videos. With Phillips coming up in to try that, we got Crowell coming in, but he's an injured quantity. We're not sure what he's going to be like on the field. This is an area where we may target in the draft either one of those levels. And the secondary, isn't like we're knocking the lights out either. So there's a lot of question marks on the defensive side of the ball that are going to have to be answered in either the draft or in free agency or in the cuts after the first couple of rounds of cuts as we come through training camp. The Bucs have historically done a good job picking people up at that time period. In the defensive line specifically, Wilkerson and Douglas both came in around that time period, or in the offseason last year, and both of them were impactful. One of them for us, Wilkerson, and the other one for the Ravens and Douglas. So anyway, from a What the Buck perspective, I am not a fan of the Jay Cutler trade. I hope we stay away from it, other than maybe to drive up his value for someone else, thereby crushing them for cap and draft picks. You never know. The Redskins are an outside chance to get in there too, and God knows they seem to be able to spend money even when they don't have it. So we are going to be live tomorrow night, Thursday, April 2nd at 7 o'clock at whatthebuck.net doing our normal show. We're back on the normal schedule, hopefully, if work doesn't take me away. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Hopefully it was useful. Feel free to rate it and give me some comments. And if you can, swing by at whatthebuck.net tomorrow at 7 o'clock, and we'll see you there. Take care and go Bucs.